computer. Okay. All right. So welcome to your weekly team training Zoom. My name is Michelle, and I'll be your anchor tonight. And I am going to be interviewing 3 lovely ladies that are emerging leaders on our team. We are going to be interviewing Mary Megan Weathers over here, Kate.
Hi.
And Megan. Megan, I'm really not sure how to say your last name. Oh, I need to unmute you?
Zecckine. No?
Is it Zecckine?
Did somebody just say vegan?
No.
Okay, don't worry. Nobody gets it right, and everybody calls me a zucchini, but it's actually Zecckine.
Zecckine. Well, your
Yeah.
name is Zucchini, so Megan Zecckine.
Yes, I went from a spelling of Schultz that you'll never spell to zucchini, so it got no easier, but yes, it is Italian, and if you think of an Italian accent while you say it, it's a little easier.
Zucchini, like.
Exactly, that's perfect.
Zucchini. Yeah, well, I went from Daniel to Medeiros, so
Yeah.
I feel your pain.
Wait, Dignan, Zabo, Dignan. Probably forever Dignan. It's okay. I'll be billionaire. Sorry.
It don't matter when you make a lot of money, right?
Right.
Okay, so, but for real. Okay, so anyway, we're going to be interviewing these ladies. They're all pushing hard for Ruby this month, and they're going to get it. But part of being a Ruby is that is kind of their big start to your leadership position in this company. You start out as a Ruby leader, and you build from there. So part of their Ruby push this month is to post these Zooms for you guys and kind of get some experience with that and confidence to grow a little bit in their business. So what we're going to talk about tonight is, I guess in a general sense, is how to keep pushing when you feel like your business isn't moving as fast as you want it to, and how to keep growing your goals and things like that. So the first question, and I'm going to kind of go to each one of you one at a time. I'm going to start with you since you're already unmuted, okay? And then we'll go from there. Number 1 is, what has been your experience with people being unsupportive, and how did you handle it without it hurting your business?
I don't know. Kirk comes to mind. Kirk would be my answer. My boyfriend Kirk, and your thing is distracting me.
Sorry.
He doesn't support me at all, to the point of he's threatened to break up with me. He tells me it's ridiculous that I wear 9% of green clothing. That was 2 days ago. And that I need to stop posting on Facebook so many ads because no one wants to see it. I pretty much told him to kick rocks, that he can either join me or not go. I did actually let it hurt my business for a while back in June. I got real depressed about it. And yeah, not anymore. Just make it part of your why.
Yeah, you really come out of that.
Let me see. Sorry.
Awkward thing.
Okay. And then I guess you answered that, yeah. How did you handle it without it hurting your business? You answered that. Okay, so Mary Megan, I'm going to unmute you. Same question. What has been your experience with people being supportive, and how did you handle it without it hurting your business?
Okay, so when people are unsupportive, like on social media, I just unfriend them. Sorry, not sorry, but I mean, you got to kind of just move on. Like, who cares what they think? You know, and especially if people are like, oh, like if they've tried a product and they obviously, you know, they didn't do it right, they didn't stick to it, they weren't honest about it, you know, and you just kind of got to explain to them, hey, you know, that's you, that's not everybody, and, you know, everybody's view is different on it. People are unsupportive all the time. You just got to kind of get over it. Just get over it. That's my best advice for that. It's happened to me a lot. Matter of fact, today I had a girlfriend who I was able to rap, and she posted it on my wall, and that's like a big win for me today. I didn't have to ask her to post it or anything. She just did. She was amazed after one rap. And there are people on there that were like bashing the company. I'm just like, you know what? It's not worth it. Not worth it. If they were my friend, they were deleted. I'll add them later and try to add them as prospect. But you just deal with it. Suck it up, deal with it. There's 100 fish in the sea. millions of fish in the sea. Why focus on that one? That's my answer.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, my husband at the time was boyfriend, and he laughed at me when I said I was gonna do this. But that first time he saw a comma in my paycheck, he got pretty supportive. I'm not gonna lie. So so sometimes you just have to get through that. It sucks when it's somebody that's really close to you, right? It's easy to say, who cares what my Facebook friends think? But when it's your best friend or your husband or your spouse, it does make it more difficult. So
it does.
Actually, I meant to. What's that?
Sorry. I was going to say, my spouse was kind of the same way. He goes back and forth with it. Like, I get a paycheck, and he's like, oh, yeah, that's cool. And then, like, I go a whole month without, and he's like, this sucks. I'm like, you won't say that when I get another paycheck. So I tell him, just look at the future. Just look at the future. It'll be a lot better.
Say hi.
You can say hi, but then you got to be quiet. Say hi.
Hi. Hi.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to ask you guys to, and I meant to do this at the beginning. Let me backtrack a little bit. Hey, can you tell them how long you've been in, like a little bit about like why you started, just a quick, short, sweet.
Oh, short. Started in March. I was desperate to find something I could do from home to make quick money. Learned that this isn't a quick fix, but it's so much better than that. And that it is something that I can stop working at these stupid hotels and making these beds. So yeah, is that it? Short, quick, sweet. I have a very long one.
Mary Megan and you two, how long have you been in? Kind of why did you start?
I don't remember when I joined. I think it was like in the beginning of May, maybe June. I don't remember. About 5 months now. And I kind of joined because I was in the right place at the right time. I was working a vendor event with another MLM company, and pretty much a better opportunity arose. So I jumped on it, who wouldn't? Also,
My mom gave her a blip card.
Yeah, Michelle's mom actually talked to me at an event and said you should contact her about other events for what I was working for already. And I added Michelle. I didn't even have to search her on Facebook. She was like in the events nearby that you may be interested in. And so I was like, oh, let me just add her now. I remember that name from that event I was at. So I added her. And I watched her for probably about 2 weeks. And I felt the love and the vibe coming off of the team that she was growing. And I've never seen another MLM company work like that ever. Like, that's unbelievable to me. Like, the amount of love this team has for everybody, this company in general, is amazing. So, and that's why I wanted it. I also don't want to go back to work accounting in January, so I'd rather be home with my kiddo. So it's kind of part of my why.
Awesome. So, Megan, tell us first kind of when you joined and why, and then answer the question, what has been your experience with people being unsupportive, and how did you handle it without hurting your business?
Okay, I didn't know, but out of the three of us, I've actually been in about a month longer. I started in early February, and I started after using the products just before the beginning of the holidays because I lost 10 pounds going into the holidays, and I kept them off. And that was huge for me because that showed me, just like the name of our company, wow, this stuff works. And I'm a dental assistant. My immune system was getting down really bad. I was getting sick frequently, being in people's faces and mouths all day, every day. And the greens helped me so much. So I was like, I've actually always been interested in a company like this since for as long as I can remember, but had never found the one for me with the products for me. And so I felt like this was finally the thing. As far as your first question, I can say that I've actually had a really good support system. I would have to say the biggest non-supportive person would be my own mind. But on a more public level, I did have a situation once on Facebook where, this conversation just blew up. And it actually was pretty silly. I was like, wow, that's ridiculous. I didn't put that. I just completely deleted the entire post to where other people couldn't see that and get a bad concept or bad idea about our company based upon this one person's, ignorant opinion. And that's it.
Yeah, that's great. I right after I went double diamond, okay, I was like addicted to my business when I went double diamond, right? Like I was like on fire. I was so excited. And about a week after I went double diamond, I had this girl that I went to high school with, like she was in marching band with me in high school. And she commented on one of my posts, and it was really hateful and awful. But I
remember you sharing that with me.
Yeah, and I just deleted her comment,
Yeah.
and then I unfriended her. Well, then she posted something. I think first I just deleted her comment. And then she posted something about the business in that post, and then something about me directly being a nurse and supporting the products and something, just hateful stuff. I mean, she was just being a bully, for lack of better words. And I let it get to me way more than it should have. And I tell you guys that because I want you to learn from my mistakes. Because, guys, I was like, I'm telling you, like on fire for my business right after I went double. Because I promoted to diamond, very next month, double diamond, $40,000 in bonuses in 2 months. I mean, you would think nothing could break me, but it did. It hit me pretty hard, and it was really hateful. And I think it was because it was like her slamming me from coming at it from a medical standpoint, and I felt like I wasn't confident enough as a nurse either. And it just kind of really hit me hard. And then so many other people that used to be my friends were commenting on this post, and it just really, it hurt, It took me a while to shake that. I mean, you see Chelsea over there nodding because I was texting her a lot about it. I was really upset. But ultimately, who cares, right? You know what?
We're not the ones signing our checks.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, she's not going to give me $40,000, is she? Nope, she's sure not. So ultimately, you have to decide, have tough skin, because people have a negative mindset about network marketing, period. And Works has been around for a long time. And there's a lot of people who tried it and it didn't work for them because it didn't work, right? It didn't work for them because they didn't work. That's the end game on this one. So anyway, next question. Kate, how have your goals changed or grown since you started?
Well, when it first started, it was strictly just make money and become diamond fast in 3 months, so that way I could bring my oldest daughter home with me. Which still is a goal, still bringing her home, still want to, make a decent amount of money. But now that I actually know about the products, I actually want to help people with the products, like the greens, and hearing stories of people at Odom's and how much I love it and everything like that. I hear someone, they're like, oh, well, I've got some heart issues. I'm like, I got some. Kind of crazy about it, but I'm just like, hey, I can help you. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, mine changed a lot like that too, because at first I just wanted to help pay for groceries, and then I realized that it was a great outlet for me to help people with health in the same way I was helping as a nurse, and I liked that. I was able to stay home with my babies while I did it, but really mine has evolved more into helping people financially. My why has grown into, I wanted, when I started, I didn't realize that was my why, but when I started, I wasn't the one putting my baby to bed every night. Somebody else was kissing my baby goodnight, and that sucks, y'all. And that's why that makes me cry. Okay, like when they say your why should make you cry, that was the why that made me cry, not groceries. Okay, it may have been his Mimi, but it wasn't me. It wasn't that he wasn't being taken care of. It was that I was missing out on that, and I wasn't. There was one time, guys, I bathed him, and I realized that I couldn't remember the last time I gave him a bath. Right? That sucked. So
That's me right now, Chelsea.
For me, yeah,
I pretty much get to give her
awful.
food, get her dressed, and put her off to school right now.
That's the why that makes me cry, and it has evolved because me now I get to put him to bed every night. I'm the one that gives him a bath. I'm there every morning. He runs in and snuggles with me in bed because I don't have to set an alarm. He's my alarm clock, and a lot cuter than the beeping that comes from my phone. Okay. And now my why has evolved into wanting to help other mamas get to put their babies to bed every night. it grows into, I mean, me wanting to help someone like Kate, who's telling me that that's her now every night, is that she doesn't get to put Kelsey to bed every night or give her her goodnight kiss or maybe send them to school every morning. Okay.
Have mommy-daughter days.
Right. You know, but you don't want a mommy-daughter day. You want mommy-daughter every day. Yeah. So my why has evolved into that being my passion, and that I want to help other moms or dads find that freedom to be with their kids as much as they want to.
Yeah.
So, Mary Megan, you guys don't realize that I call her Mary Megan. How has your why, or not your why, how have your goals changed or grown since you started?
Okay, so my goals are like always changing. I think of something new every day. So when I started, my goal was to continue to bring in the same amount that I brought in with a different MLM company that I was with at the time. That's being done currently. So more focusing down the road is I want more money, and I want to be able to support my family and not have to worry about, if I go to lunch with a friend, or if I, want to take a road trip with a girlfriend, or whatever I want to do, take my kid out to a play place, whatever day of the week, because the beauty of working your business anywhere. I mean, and then like short-term, long-term goal, don't want to go to work in January. I don't want to go work for that company again. Long-term, there's lots of goals in the making. I want to help my team grow financially and fit. We've been talking about this word fit a lot. I want to help my team get fit in all aspects of life. Got big goals. I think we should all have big goals. Dreams turn into goals, because without goals, there's no dreams, I think. I think I may have said that backwards. I'm sorry if I did.
We get it.
I think we all feel you. We're with you. Megan, same question. How have your goals changed or grown since when you first started?
Okay, when I first started, I think my way out there unattainable goal in my mind was just to simply hit Ruby. And I know that sounds silly, but in my mind it was like, that's going to take me 3 years to get to. And yeah, I might be pushing a year almost, whatever, that I've been in the business, but I see now that I could do that in a matter of a couple of people, with just the, I'm so much closer to it, I guess is what I'm saying, than I ever realized. Even though my check last month was a lot smaller, some of my stuff is down, but I know that as a person within this business, I'm so much closer. And so now, business-wise, more long-term, first goal would be Diamond to go first, but I can't wait to have my own team. I'm dying to have my own team and help pour into them like y'all do into us, and to help them learn about themselves and to grow in themselves the way we all are and the way we do, and to just help people get healthier the way it's helped me. And we hear about these really amazing stories of people with specific conditions where they've been on all these meds and things like that, but then when they go natural, they're so much better. And I just can't wait to have that be testimonies from results of things on my team. That's kind of right now in this hour where my goals are. Mary just said, they're always changing, but that's definitely one thing that's constant. Those are some of my pretty consistent goals right now. Oh, and my other huge thing is that I absolutely cannot and don't want to keep being a dental assistant full time. I love my job, but it's very hard on me physically. I have a permanent neck injury, and whether you do or don't, it's really bad on you long term. And so January of 2019, I want to be part-time in my dental career.
You're going to be part-time before that, girlfriend. I can promise you.
I won't say no to that, but 2019 for sure.
When I first started, and Kelsey can attest to this one, when I first started, I wanted to make $500 a month. I didn't care a whole lot about having a team. I also did not care about being a leader by any means. In fact, she a couple of times asked me, like do some lives and a party, and she was like, I just need another leader. And I was like, nah, I'm not a leader. Remember me saying that? I was like, no, I'm not a leader. And even, I went diamond, I was like, no, I'm not a leader. And then when I went double diamond and I had my own team page, I was excited, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And, it takes a lot. This business grows you as a person just as much as it grows your bank account, more. So I think, honestly, and that was something that they said at boot camp was that each level, each rank requires a new version of yourself. And whatever version you are at a distributor level, you're not going to be a Ruby leader. You're not going to be a diamond leader, etc. So I love what you said, Megan, about you feel like you're closer as a person to being a Ruby leader because it's
Absolutely.
huge. When you first join, you don't have that mindset of being a leader and being ready to teach and grow. You're not going to be a Ruby leader. You can't.
Yeah, it's so overwhelming. Like, it's just like this whole world and ocean that you're like, what the crap did I just jump into? And then you figure it out. And especially being on our team, we have an amazing support system here. So I feel like it's kind of fail proof. Like, it might take some of us longer, but if we just plug in, if people just plug into our team and go up to our leaders, they're there for us. Like, you just have to put in the work yourself.
We see people, coming in, when we see you come in brand new, and you get to watch people kind of grow and evolve into these leadership positions, and you can really see it, when somebody first joins, they could be totally uninterested, and you can see people kind of learning to really like sharing things with the team and like teaching and like bringing into personal development or sharing videos that they watch and things like that. Those little tiny things grow you every day. And that's why we always talk about personal development, because you cannot move up to the next rank until you grow as a person. You can't. Whoever I am right now as a double diamond leader is not who I'm going to be when I go triple. Chelsea right now as a triple diamond is not what she's going to be as a presidential. Okay, it's just, you can't. Like, if she stayed the same, I joined, Chelsea was a diamond, she went double like a couple of weeks after I joined, like, or maybe like the next month or something. It was
June, right?
Yeah. I
Like
joined June 25th.
Yeah, it would have been that same month.
Right. So when I joined, Chelsea was a diamond leader, and then she went double right then, like immediately. And I kind of saw, I was on Tannis's team page, and I made that move over to Chelsea's team page. It's like, when you go double diamond, you get your own team page, and it's kind of scary. And I made that move with her, and I had just joined, so I really didn't know what I was doing at that point. I was just like, okay, whatever, just tell me what to do, and I'll do it.
Right.
But, I got to watch Chelsea kind of evolve into that leader too. And then I sat there and thought, no way, never, ever, ever. Never, ever, ever am I going to host a Zoom. I got on these things and hid my face with the picture. Okay, like, I was terrified. You wanted to unmute me. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, and it's scary. Live videos, I didn't show my face at first. I just like showed. One time I showed a cup and was like, "Look how cool this
I
water
remember your
bottle was."
first one. Like, looking at you then and now, it's like,
It's a huge difference. Now I'll get on a live video looking like a hobo. I will. I don't care. Like, hey, like, because who cares now? Like, you want to make fun of me? Cool. Look at my paycheck. You know what I mean? So who cares? And that's the mindset you have to have. But I was not that person. I was not that person. Chelsea made me get on stage with a microphone. I almost barfed, y'all.
Dude, Morgan helped me.
Seriously.
My first live.
So scared. The very first Odom I went to, I texted Chelsea whenever they told me I had to stand up and tell my story, and was like, why didn't you tell me this was going to happen? Because she didn't. Okay? She didn't.
It's because it was supposed to help you, Michelle.
I don't
It's going to help you grow.
I don't
And
care.
I was there for that, and you did really good.
yeah, she did.
Were you there for that in Mobile?
Yeah.
Oh, Mobile?
Wait, no.
Just kidding. No,
I
the
thought it was
first Pensacola
Pensacola.
Odom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Us too. They were there.
Yeah.
We weren't sitting together. We didn't know each other that well then.
No. Well,
You were
nervous for that?
It was
my
Pensacola,
God.
right?
It was
Oh, in
Pensacola because I
Mobile.
was there too.
No,
Yeah,
I was like, Andrew, I want you to come meet this. Is one of my
Okay, no.
leaders.
It was
Hi,
Pensacola where I was
Michelle.
at. I wasn't at your first one then.
Yeah. Mobile was the first one I went to, and then in Pensacola, I helped Chelsea host it, and she's like, "Okay, let's just go get on stage now." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"No big deal. Let me just go throw up right quick." Like, it's
You did good, though,
scary.
but yeah, it's like you're standing
It's
up in front
so
of
scary.
everyone
And then I'm like, there's a whole lot of people here, and they're all looking at me. And then there's all these live videos. You're just like looking out into like this crowd of phones. It's awful. Like, and it was scary, and I would have never done that. And so that's something I want you all to realize. If you are not today the person you think you have to be a diamond or above leader, I promise you can grow into that person. I promise you that you can evolve and grow into that person, but you have to want it, you have to learn, and you have to show up. You guys are all showing up, so I'm like preaching to the choir right now, but that's how it's got to be. You also have to be willing to get over and past your roadblocks. But anyway, I'm just like rambling, so I'm going to go to the next question. Kate, how do you handle disappointment when you don't meet a goal, and how have you learned to grow through that when it happens?
I don't even know. I mean, I just know that I've had disappointment because I was so sure when I joined, I was going to go diamond in 3 months, and then I saw everyone, like I watched you hit double and her hit triple, and it was like a whole slew of promotions, and here I was sitting at distributor.
I didn't go Ruby until 5 going to 6 months into my business.
5 months.
See, I'm past the 6-month mark, and that's
Yeah.
part of what Kirk doesn't
Me too.
like. I told him within 6 months I'm going to be doing da-da-da.
Jocelyn Yates, it took her 9 months
To go executive.
Yep. And then who else? I think, I don't want to quote anybody, but I don't know. Somebody that is a top earner, it took them like a year and a half. It might have been Denise, to be honest, to even like promote for the first time.
Yeah.
But
even Cammie, it took her 6
Yeah.
months to sign her first distributor.
Yeah.
Cammie cost. It took her 6 months to sign her first distributor.
Yeah. It took me 4.
I want you all to let that soak in for a second. Cammie cost took 6 months to sign a distributor. She's the CEO's daughter, y'all. It took her 6 months to sign a distributor. Say it again for the people in the back. No. Okay, we're good. Okay. All right. So seriously, like, you cannot get down on yourself, and that's the whole point of this Zoom. I want you guys to hear this. These are 3 people who have been in,
I did get down on myself for a while.
and it's easy to. It's easy to get down on yourself. Guys, I got down on myself. I promoted in March, so it's April, May, June, July, August, September. It's been 7 months since I promoted double diamond. I was upset that I'm not triple yet, y'all. I have a comma in my paycheck. That's freaking cool, right? So why am
Can I say
upset?
something?
Yeah.
One thing on this that I heard kind of early on when I was getting down on myself, and I have to remind myself of this, a fact. We have, 8 levels in our company, and they said if you promote once a year, in 8 years, you're going to be a millionaire.
Yep.
Most of us do not have that promotion opportunity at our current jobs. So keep this in mind.
Exactly.
Definitely.
That's what I was telling my dad
Yeah.
and
It's a big
my
thing.
dad's girlfriend the other day. It was of why we were talking about why it's so important, and Kurt just can't get that.
You've got to just push through it. I mean, even if you were to start your own business in like any other,
I've
anything
spent more
else.
money on Katie Cleans than I have at Works, and I get accused of spending too much more than I make here. And I would say, well, I could be buying shoes or makeup or drugs, but at least I'm buying something good for me.
Productive, right?
She's like, great way to look at it. Yeah.
But I spent Katie Cleans, cleaning supplies and magnets and advertisements and business cards and stuff. And I started Katie Cleans November of last year, and then I started at Work. So everything's still kind of.
So you said you expected to go diamond in 3 months. You're not diamond now, but you're still so fired up about your business.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that, because it doesn't matter. Everybody has their own journey. And another big thing that they said at Nashville that was an aha moment for me was Mark got up there, and I can't remember if this was at the diamond training or if y'all were in there for this one, but he said, enjoy the journey. Were you guys there for that?
Oh, the journey's been that's been priceless. And I've said that on lives a few times. If I never made much money with business and there was no possible way, I'd still continue to do it, just because of all of you guys, the friends I've made, the personal development and growth.
Said that. It's like you grow so much as a person.
Yeah.
Just like even with with 8
Brandy
months
will
to
tell
promote.
you she's seen me during our crazy hippie days.
Right. And it's like, you just realize yourself, you grow, like you do the self-development, you make some friends, it really, I've seen a change in myself even just in the 8 months.
Yeah,
I've been in. So,
huge changes.
yeah,
I mean, that's
absolutely.
huge.
and that's the biggest thing.
He was saying, to enjoy the journey and don't be in such a rush to get to a promotion where you're not enjoying the journey, because it's great. And nobody else has this culture. No other business has this culture. Guys, I've been in 3 other companies. I can promise you nobody else has this culture. And, he was saying to enjoy the journey and that you're not so busy being disappointed that you haven't promoted yet, that you're missing all of the other things that you get and gain from this business, like the friendships and those, close relationships and friendships that we've gotten. But Mary, you have a similar story in that you joined and you were so fired up when you joined. Your first 24 hours, you fast start qualified, got your 4 loyal customers, and you told me you were going diamond in 3 months as well. Things happen, guys. I did not go diamond in 3. I didn't go ruby in 3 months. Okay, that's a big chunk to bite off. Okay, so I want to hear how do you handle the disappointment when you realize maybe you didn't hit the initial goal? How did you grow through that?
Okay, so yeah, I had, high ambition, like I definitely wanted diamond. But like everyone said, you kind of have to enjoy the moment. You have to work your way through that, and through self-development. Like I really, prior to joining this company, was not into self-development, didn't really look into any of it. So through self-development, I've been able to kind of just like, relax. So what? You didn't get that promotion. So what? You'll get it eventually. Here I am at 5 months. I'm getting ruby this month. I'm going to. It doesn't matter. But, even if I weren't to, keep focusing on growing yourself and helping your team grow as people, not as business partners. I think that's definitely a huge part. And don't compare yourself to others. Like there's so many people in this business that are way successful. Like there's people that go diamond in a month, and it's like, how did you do that? Like it's mind blowing. You can watch YouTube videos all day long, but unless you're them, I mean, some people, I don't know. I don't know how they did that, but they did.
I still don't believe that's real life. I refuse to believe that that's real life.
To me, that's not real. It's like, now that I've been in the business for 5 months, I'm like able to just be like, don't compare yourself to others. Their journey is much different than yours, and you'll promote when you're ready to promote. That's where I'm at with it.
I agree. When I first joined, I did not have the mindset of promoting. I just I wanted to make $500 a month. I didn't even understand that ruby was how I needed to do it, honestly. I was just kind of playing around with it. And just like you said, I decided one day, all right, I'm going to go ruby. And you know what? That month I did, because ruby is the milestone, right? Ruby is like that building block. You have to start at ruby. So you get that first, you learn how to promote to ruby yourself. And then from there,
he's like, who is
from there, you learn how to teach your team how to do that too. And that's what's so important about ruby. That's why we say, ruby, we focus so much on going ruby, because that's the building block. That's what the whole company is built on. An emerald is 2 rubies. The diamond is 3 rubies. You start going into the bigger ones, you're just going up. And I think an ambassador diamond is like 3 rubies or something like that. It's all about rubies. So when you can teach yourself how to go ruby and meet a smaller goal, guys, that's not a small goal, because you just learned how to tackle building blocks, the whole company. Right. So ruby is huge. Like when you go ruby, that's a big deal. And you can decide, I don't care if you join today, you can make a decision to go ruby this month. Because ruby is possible, ruby is attainable, and ruby is a decent income. That's $500 a month. So that's a big thing. You got to decide though. I decided to go ruby. I told Chelsea I was going ruby. That month I was ruby.
Yeah. You make the unwavering decision and you just get to work every day. Like
I was still working my 9 to 5 traveling. Like, I didn't really have the time to be on my phone. In fact, I couldn't be on my phone. Into 12-hour shifts, like I would have to do it in the bathroom. I would have to connect with people in my hotel room when I got off work at like 10 or 11 from a shift. I just made it happen on my lunch break, right? And then you just make sure that you're setting time aside. I did personal power hours. I connected with people. I added my friends that I needed to add, and I just started growing those relationships, and people kept watching. People I'm still following up with, that just happens. And then some people end up joining. Like this one I worked on for a long time. And then you joined. You too, yeah. Yeah.
And then I finally became a customer. Then finally joined.
Yeah, that's where the consistency is. Though, if people see you being inconsistent, they're going to not take you seriously. And guess who they're going to join? The person they see being consistent. Don't just advertise without asking, because that means if you're only advertising your business, people are going to see that, and then they're going to go ask. Person is actually, asking them. Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's going to ask. Queen Pam said that one time. Morelli, I guess she hopped off, but Edna Odom, I was with Morelli in Atlanta, and Queen Pam said, somebody's going to ask. So you better do it, because somebody's going to ask that person, whether it's your cashier at Walmart, your neighbor across the street that you think, no way, my car says it works out in my driveway. They would never go to somebody else. Yes, they would, because somebody's going to ask them.
People are scared to come to you first. Like, you have to compliment the person. What I always do is I say, it sounds really random and I don't want to be that person, but I felt compelled to just tell you that I think that you're pretty amazing and you'd be great at what I do. If they say, most people aren't going to be nasty back to that, right? Because you're giving them a compliment. Like, I think you're amazing. I've been watching you for a long time. I think that you'd be great. But the first thing they can say is, I appreciate you, but I'm just not interested, right? Then you have their attention. Now, whenever you're advertising and showing your adventure, they're going to be intrigued. And you broke that algorithm. So boom, 2 birds with 1 stone.
Megan, you recently had something that disappointed you. So I'm going to change your question up just a little bit because I want you to share this. I think everybody needs to hear it. Okay.
Okay. You want to hear that now or on the last question?
On this one. So instead of saying disappointment with not meeting a goal, I want to talk about how have you handled disappointment and how did you grow through it? Because you had a really good one that I think a lot of people are going to be able to resonate with.
Yeah. So this actually, gosh, one of y'all were just saying something that it was totally going along with that. Like that was just going through my head the whole time. Oh yeah. If you don't ask, someone else will. Okay. So what Michelle is talking about is it's been almost exactly a month let me back up. I'm in the worst drought of signing anybody as a loyal customer that I've been in my whole business. I haven't signed anybody since June. So those of you who are struggling, a lot of us are. So the last customer I signed was in June. It's somebody that I went to school with, and I'm a dental assistant, but she's a medical assistant. She's an amazing, sweet, sweet lady. Love her to death. She just has an amazing personality. She ended up contacting me about hair, skin, and nails for a family member of hers, actually, because she had seen some of my posts. And she contacted me kind of privately because there was somebody in her family who was a Networks distributor, but she didn't like their style. And they're just overbearing. Long story short, she became a loyal customer. She had not even completed her 90 days with me. And I see it pop up. I see her put up a post, well, guys, I've decided to join this crazy rap thing. And she has a selfie holding up Greens on the Go that I know for a fact was from her auto ship from me. And I know for a fact that she didn't join me. And guys, like, to say that my heart sunk was an understatement. Like, I literally sat on the couch and just started crying. And I'm not a crier. Like, I consider myself to be pretty tough with my emotions, but I just lost it. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I could totally go Ruby with this lady on my team. I know it. I know it for a fact. I had taken samples and catalogs to her work. I mean, like, I had done a lot of stuff that most people would think would kind of lead to that. So what I did was Michelle can vouch for this. I went and sent her, like, I don't know how many million voice messages on Facebook, like tears and all. And I just, like, spilled my guts to her. And y'all know what? she didn't just pat my back and say, oh, it's okay, have your sob story. She was sympathetic and understanding, and she shared when she had similar experiences with me. And she helped to help me get focused back on, you know, why did you do this? Go back to the beginning. What was the point of this? You can't let one person ruin this whole thing for you. And everything happens for a reason. So obviously this person went with the other person because they were more comfortable with them for whatever reason. I did end up messaging her just to where I had closure for myself. And at first I was like, oh, hey, you know, I see that you joined somebody else. I'm a little confused. And she, of course, didn't know anything was wrong with that because the lady who signed her poached her and went against company policy. But guys, like I told Michelle when that happened, if I had not already been in this business for at least a few months, and like I said, this was just a month ago and I've been in for 10 or 11 months, but if I had not already been in the business for many months and I had seen the determination, I had seen the success stories, and I had seen the ups and downs of other people, I would have been out. That would have been it. And like I told myself when I started, I'm being in this for minimum 1 year. But that really, really shook me to my core. And then I can say that in this last month, at least I feel like I have grown a lot. While my business doesn't show it yet, I feel like as an individual, I've grown so much more from that. So that's actually a really good thing.
I agree. I mean, you can see a massive change in you since that happened, and that's why I wanted you to share that story, because it happens, guys. People join other people, and it is what it is. I mean, you could have been building a relationship with someone for months, and then their best friend joins, and
Exactly.
you're the best friend, guys. That's what happened.
And let that be a life lesson to y'all. Go ask every single one of your loyal customers if they've ever thought about joining the business. Just do it before somebody else does.
Upgrade.
You gotta ask. You know,
I did it within 24 hours. I went and asked every single one of them.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do. But yeah, Megan came to me, and she was at a point in her business when this happened to her, where she was devastated. She lost faith in the integrity of the company for a minute, and really. Want to say something?
Yeah, I actually did. And guys, those of you who are struggling with like your spouses and boyfriends and whatnot being supportive, I've been really blessed to have my husband's support on a very good level from day one. But when that happened, he got angry at the company as well because he thought it was their fault. And Michelle actually dug through the rules and policies and procedures of the company and sent me the paragraph that proved where that's not company policy, and the distributor who signed that person was completely breaking corporate rules. And so that, combined with a few other things that we've been learning, has actually since just triggered this really funny conversation ongoing. Like, we'll be out and about and see this massive black truck with green wheels, and he's like, oh, is that what your dream vehicle is going to be when you go diamond or double diamond and stuff like that? And so he's back on board. So yeah, awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, and and so she came to me, and she was a pretty she was really devastated by this, and I don't blame her. And that was, I think, her first really big disappointment. But you know what? In those disappointments is a passion. And she wouldn't have been that upset if she wasn't as passionate as she is about her business. So she was so upset and so hurt because she cares so much about her success and what she does with this business, right? So when you get to a place like that, that's your own version of your rock bottom, because you were ready to call it quits. Almost like you were at a point where you were like, man, screw this, right? And
yeah,
I've been there too, guys. And but then you come back from that. But when you came back from that, you came back with a fire, right? Because then you found that you could come back from that. And that's what they say, guys. When you go through a funk, when you go through your first real funk, and I don't mean like anybody in a few weeks, when you go through your first real funk and you come out the other side, that's where the leaders are. That's where the leaders are. So when you hit that level where you had that super downtime, you haven't signed anybody in months, somebody quit, this happened, that happened, somebody joined somebody else, yada, yada, yada. You get through that and you don't give up and quit. That's where the leaders are made, and that's what they look for. That's what the top leaders look for, is those types of personalities. Okay. Last question. Kate, what has been your biggest roadblock in this business?
Kirk. I'm sorry, it really.
I mean, you're honest.
I mean,
That's not funny, but it sounded funny at the time and almost spit my water out.
And then also myself too, because I've let my mind, not just with him. Like I said, I stepped back before. He was very supportive. Always has been supportive of Katie cleans, but it works. He can't wrap his head around how something like this can actually be good. Typical jobs, if I want to start a typical 9-to-5 business with cleaning houses or go and work for a company that cleans houses, that's fine. I should have only one thing I focus on. So I actually stepped back thinking that maybe he was right before June and everything, and focused more on Katie Cleans, and here I am still a distributor if I didn't push like I should have. So it's that in my own mind, like I said, my own mind with handling my depression and stuff like that.
Yeah, as Pam Sauter would say, you have to get over your damn self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Working on it.
Oh, look. Okay, let's see, Mary, same question. What is your biggest roadblock?
My biggest roadblock would probably be, I've had a lot of roadblocks, but the biggest one would probably be, I don't know. Like, I battle myself all the time. Like, am I really working my business to its full potential? I catch myself living in the moment, in the now, like, whatever, doesn't matter. And, like, that's a big roadblock. Like, I've totally, like, this past, like, probably month adding September into October, 2 weeks of September, 2 weeks of October, I've really just kind of been like, yeah, get over yourself. Like, stop doing this, work your business, and you will get to where you want to be. I've had other issues come up, like moving and stuff like that. Those are big roadblocks for a lot of people. Like, moving is a big deal. I'm going to share a little bit with you guys. The end of last year, I moved 3 times in a matter of 3 months. That was horrendous. And so now the thought, even just the thought, the smallest thought of moving again is like, oh, I can't focus on anything else. I stay up all night long. I stay up all night anyways. But I stay up all night long thinking, oh my God, like, I don't have the money to move, but I need the money to move. So I need this business to work. So it's roadblocking to me. That's a roadblock. Like, that's a big one for me. But myself, for the most part, I battle myself all the time. Am I really doing what I should be doing? Yep.
That's awesome. And I think, everybody, we have that problem of like getting over yourself. For me, and Megan, I'm going to come to you next on this one, but for me, my biggest roadblock is this thing right here. Not because he stops me from doing what I need to do, but because I try to work my business and then he comes and sits in my lap and I get distracted, and it's not really as productive as it could be, right? So that was a big thing, was how do you do this and be a mom? How do you get over the mom guilt, right, of spending time working on your business rather than spending time with your kids? And that was something they said, was spend that quality time, right? That time, because they're going to get tired of you really quick. They're going to want to spend time with you for about, depending on their age, like him, 10 minutes max. He'll sit down and color with me, and then he's done with me, okay? Then I can do what I got to do. So that's what they said, was really spend that time. It's going to be different depending on age groups and all this, but if you need to go and have your nails done with your little girl and then come back and spend 30 minutes working your business, then do that. If you need to, sit down and play a board game with your family, then put your phone away and do that. When you're working on your business, be 100% in your business, and when you're with your family, be 100% in your family, and you're going to find that balance. So that's my roadblock. So Megan, what is your biggest roadblock?
I actually want to share 2 earlier on in my business, and I'll be quick about it. a lot of people will probably be surprised that actually when I joined the company at the beginning of this year, we didn't have internet. We just had very, very limited data on our phones. And so that was like trying to get on and learn and plug in and stuff was horrendous. Like I was trying to do as much as I could on Wi-Fi while I'm at work on my lunch break, and it was just awful. So when we got internet for the first time actually ever this year, that was like Christmas every day, and it still is. Like I couldn't be on the Zoom if I didn't have it, you know. And then also extremely early on this year, we lost my husband's grandpa, his dad, and another really close family friend. Like we had basically 3 really close family deaths all this year. And me and my husband were responsible for sorting through and going through all that and just dealing with all of that, and we still are. And so that was just, you know, I needed to have my focus there, and I could not focus on my business, like hardly at all. And I had a little guilt from that, but not at the same time, because that's life and, you know, family's first. So while that was a big time frame, I didn't let it hold me back. But currently I would have to say that I am my biggest roadblock because I'm trying to get over myself. And I would say that this is something I'm growing a little bit in as in the last week and a half. I need to be blitzing. I need to be getting out there and talking to strangers. And I'm absolutely terrified of that because I'm not an outgoing person like that. And so I am working on that. But I am definitely my biggest roadblock right now.
I think that's the case with most people. You know, you are your biggest roadblock because whatever it is you have decided is a roadblock for you, exactly that, something you decided is a roadblock for me. Like for me, I can say I didn't have time to work my business today because my kids were crazy. Really, I could have found time to, like I said before, be 100% with him for a small period of time and then work my business 100% for a small period of time, go back and forth between that, because whatever it may be, you know, you said you had these family obligations, things like that. You know, of course, family comes first. You have to devote that time to it. And then you have to find 30 minutes you can devote 100% to the work. Because if you try to just fit it all in through your day, if you say, okay, yeah, I'll just post something, you know, maybe I'll remember, oh, here's a quick picture. Those posts, those messages, those whatever it is that you're doing, they're not heartfelt. They are not passionate. They don't have enough in them, enough heart, enough grit to catch anybody's attention. I can promise you. So you have to give your 100%, however much that is. If you can do 30 minutes a day and split it into 10-minute segments, then do that. If you can do 3 hours and spend an hour at a time, do that. Whatever it is that you can put into your business, do that. Do it 100%. Don't do 30 seconds here and 45 seconds there. You can't do anything. So in that time to focus, and I don't care if it's while you're pooping, okay? Got their attention. If it's while you're pooping, I don't care. If you're a mom, y'all feel me, okay? And I know the kids come with them. Lock the door. And then do what you gotta do, okay?
Yeah, Michelle, I ran to the bathroom at work to try to see your live with Mary Beth and didn't get to.
When I was in nursing school, in my clinicals, we weren't even allowed to have our phones. I hid it in my bra and would go to the bathroom and answer messages or make a post real quick and set up buffer. And where there is a will, there is a way. Okay, I promise you. So anyway, thanks, ladies, for sharing all of this. I know that it's nice to hear, you know, other people, to hear other stories, because you hear from us all the time and you know our stories. And it's nice to hear from others. And I'm super, super proud of you guys. All 3 of you are going to be Ruby this month, guaranteed. I wanted to see, does anybody else have anything that you want to say before we hop off? Anybody that wasn't one of our hosts? Any questions or comments for these ladies? No? Okay. All right, y'all. Well, then I am going to stop the recording.